Let us pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the office of leaders and county assemblies for the welfare of society, and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of your important trust in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. Honorable members, as per standing order number 32, part 2, I'd like to request the sergeant to ring the bell for the first 5 minutes.
Clerk, kindly to the order of the day.
The third assembly, fourth session, order paper number 281 of today, Wednesday, 12th March, 30 p.m. Order number 1, administration of oath.
Order.
Order number 2, communication of chair. Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of. Order number 7, statements.
Main time. Next order.
Commencement of business. Order number that this House adopts the report of Appointments Committee on the suitability of Dr. Konyango Charles, nominee to the position of CEC Member for Lands, Housing and Urban Development by the Honorable Leader of the Majority Party.
Honorable Leader of Majority.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, to move a motion for the adoption of the report on the suitability of Dr. Konyango Charles Otieno for appointment to the position of CEC Member, Lands, Physical Planning. And Mr. Speaker and Honorable Members, pursuant to the provisions of Section 87 of the County Government Act 2012, read together with Section 6 of the Public Appointed County Assemblies Approvals Act 2017, His Excellency the Governor submitted to the County Assembly the nomination of Dr. Konyango Charles Otieno, CBS, nominee for the position of CEC Member for Lands and Physical Planning for vetting and approval by the County Assembly. Charles Otieno was conveyed to the Speaker of the County Assembly through letter dated CGK/CS/ADM/20/volume 7/52 dated 14th February 2025. TV and testimonials were enclosed in the letter as in Annex 1. On 25th February 2025, and pursuant to Section 6 of the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approval Act, the Leader of the Majority Party, Honorable Kennedy, tabled the name of the nominee to the House for approval. Pursuant to Section 6(7) of the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approval Act 2017 and Standing Order Number 187, the Honorable Speaker committed the nominee to the appointments for vetting and reporting to the House within 21 days. Consequently, in accordance with Section 7(4) of the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approval Act 2017, clerk of the County Assembly placed an advertisement in the print media on 27, paying the nominee of the time and place of the approval hearing, and invited the public to submit memoranda by way of written statements on oath on the suitability or otherwise of the nominee in accordance with the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approval Act 2017 as in Annex 2. The advertisement indicated that the submissions were due before 6th March 2025 at 9 a.m. By close of the submission deadline, the committee had not received any memoranda touching on the appointment. Further, in fulfillment of the provisions of Section 87 of the County Government Act 2012, read together with Section 7(5) of the Parliament's County Assemblies Approval Act 2017, and Standing Order Number 187, the Clerk of the County Assembly on 27th February 2025 notified the public through the print media that the committee asked the approval hearing on Thursday, 6th March 2025 at 10:30 a.m. at the County Assembly Chambers. In Annex 2, the nominee appeared before the committee as scheduled on Thursday, 6th March 2025 for approval hearings in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution. The Public Appointments County Assembly Approval Act 2017 and the County Assembly his suitability or otherwise for appointment to the position of CEC Member for Lands and Physical Planning. Therefore, may I take this opportunity to thank the members of the committee for their input and valuable contribution and time during the approval hearings and deliberations during the writing of the report. The committee also takes this opportunity to thank the officers of the Speaker and of the Clerk of the County Assembly for the technical support accorded to during the exercise. on behalf of the Committee on Appointments and pursuant to Section 87 of the County Government Act 2012, Section 9(2) of the Public Appointments County Assembly's Approval Act 2017, to write to Order number 187 of the Kisumu County Assembly Standing Orders. It is now my duty and privilege to present to the House the report of the Committee on Suitability of Dr. Konyango Charles Otieno, nominee for appointment to the position of CEC member for lands and physical planning for consideration. I think the whole report was posted to the wall, so I'll take the members through the observations that was by the committee. Having considered the nominees' field questionnaire pursuant to Section 7(9) of the Public Appointments County Assembly's Approval Act 2017, his CVs, and having had his oral submissions during the approval hearing, made the following observation on his suitability for appointment as the CC in charge of lands and physical planning. There's an error noted there. That pursuant to Section 37 of the County Government Act 2012, the nominee is eligible for appointment to the position of the CC member for lands and physical planning, since he is a Kenyan citizen and does not hold a dual citizenship and is a holder of a Bachelor of Science from the University of Nairobi. That the nominee meets the requirements of Chapter 6 of the Constitution on Leadership and Integrity, having received clearing statutory bodies: 1. Higher Education Loans Board; 2. Credit Reference Bureau; 3. Directorate of Criminal Investigations; 4. Kenya Revenue Authority; 5. Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. The nominee has never been charged in a court of law in the past 3 years. That the nominee has never been dismissed from office under Article 75 of the Constitution for contravention of the provisions of Article 75(1), that is conflict of interest; Article 76, financial probity; Article 77, restriction on activities of a state officer; housing. That the nominee was awarded a score of 80.4% by the committee panelists as indicated in the score sheet. Analysis. Mr. Speaker and other members, having conducted the approval hearing of Dr. Konyango Charles Otieno pursuant to Section 4 and Section 8 of the Public Appointments County Assembly's Approval Act 2017, Section 3A, 5, and Standing Order number 187 of the Kisumu County Assembly Standing Orders. Therefore, the committee recommends that this House nomination of Dr. Konyango Charles Otieno, nominee for the position of the CEC member for lands physical planning for appointment by His Excellency the Governor. Honorable Speaker, I wish to call upon Honorable Emily Oginga to second. Thank you.
Honorable members, now that the motion adoption of the report of the appointment committee on the suitability of the Dr. Konyango Charles Otieno for the appointment to the position of CC member lands, physical planning, housing, and urban development have been moved by the Honorable Leader Majority, seconded. I want to propose a question, and I propose that the motion is open for debate. Honorable Tom Nyaoke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand to support the adoption of this report, Mr. Speaker, the appointment of one Dr. Konyango Charles Otieno, who we can vividly see the report to be showing, Mr. Speaker, one of the most relevant appointee to with the relevant docket, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Dr. Onyango Charles Otieno, with the intention or the intended appointment to take the CEC docket for planning and development, Mr. Speaker, corresponds to exactly the areas he studied. I can see from the master's level, he specifically did arts in urban. And you look at his PhD, where he did special planning at the University of Science, Jaramogi Oginga University of Science and Technology. Mr. Speaker, I'm convinced that we are going to have a CEC who not only understands what he's going to be doing, and he has interest in. Mr. Speaker, many a times I don't only say the world, we have seen certain appointments, someone being appointed minister for cabinet secretary for health, and the person actually has never been into class where doctors are trained, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if qualification of Dr. Konyango, I am persuaded in all aspects that for the first time we are gearing to have someone who will be able to help us to improve the planning of this beautiful city and this great city and this great county of Kisumu County, Mr. Speaker. I therefore take this opportunity also, His Excellency Professor Peter Nyang'nyong, who saw it wise, even to think, even to come across one person called Dr. Konyango. I stand to support the adoption, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Udo.
Many thanks, Honorable Speaker, and to my colleagues as well. I also arise this afternoon to support the appointment of the new CEC for the Department of the Planning. Indeed, from what we read of the testimonials and from the background history, we are dealing with who has never been to the dark world, and we see is somebody of clean records, apart from the academic credentials that has been displayed here very well. We are only hoping that the person, when given the opportunity, shall be able to tackle the job as per the backgrounds of testimonials and also as per the clean history that we see. And in that respect, while I do not know much about Dr. Konyango Charles Otieno, but the testimony, all the presentations brought of academics in terms of the orderliness we are in agreement with that, and I support. Many thanks once more.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also want to support the nomination and appointment of Dr. Konyango. Of course, you've heard our members give accolades regarding the professional qualification and the academic background, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm here to support the nomination just because, you know, Mr. Speaker, in Kisumu County, we are the people who represent the minority, the 30%, those who are not originally from Kisumu County. So when my sister was sacked, or probably she resigned, I was worried. You know, as these particular positions, things were going haywire, I was really celebrating because I really wanted this position to go back to a fellow 30%. So my brother is from Siaya, and I believe that this is a cosmopolitan county that we not only work as residents of Kisumu County or natives, but at least we are giving consideration, even came from the other neighboring counties. It shows that Kisumu is the capital city of Luo Nation, and the recognition of Lango shows that the governor actually recognizes people like us, and therefore our 30% is protected. And I hope that our brothers will also help us. Majority leader took at Uganda, but again now looking at the 30%. And therefore, this is an appointment as somebody who represents 30%, and very happy about it. Again, Mr. Speaker, one thing that I like about Dr. Konyango, I've looked at how he worked, the salary he has been receiving, his net worth. This is somebody that I feel, of course, but he looks like somebody who is very decent. And if you look at his net worth, he doesn't appear to be somebody who is very greedy. Because if other CCs that we vetted in this house, some of them have been very rich. And we are normally disappointed when we bring in these rich people and all they want to do is enrich 5 times more than Dr. Konyango. So it shows that Dr. Konyango is somebody who is here to work and not to make money. And it shows by where he has worked. He's been a lecturer. He's given us the salary. He's been earning something. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, I didn't know who is Dr. Konyango, but you know we walk in the streets a lot, and I've heard a lot of praises about this guy. Personally, I've not met him in person. I don't even know how he looks like, but people talk good about him. He must have done some good jobs. I've been consulting with Kisumu County and helping very many issues that probably the Kisumu County has been working on. So those are professional colleagues who have been trying to pray. So it means that probably we have made the right decision. And I'm very sure if most of our members are to walk in the streets, they'll hear very good news about this guy. Otherwise, I stand to support. Thank you very much.
Emily.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My voice into supporting this report on the nomination of Dr. Konyango Charles to the CEC member of the appointment of Dr. Konyango Charles for planning, for lands and physical planning, for 3 reasons. The first reason being that Dr. Konyango Charles is a qualified planner for this position, and given his professional background, I believe that he's the right person for this position at this point, especially here in Kisumu County, where we just recently had our new towns established. And since the new towns established are actually going through issues, I believe that Dr. Konyango Charles will be the best person to guide in the stability of these municipalities. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'd like to support this nomination because, Mr. Speaker, sir, we've always seen people from Siaya County not around with the work that they've been given. Actually, people from Siaya County have always performed so well. I think it is something that we've seen, and it's certainly in Kisumu County. And I believe that Dr. Konyango Charles will perform well in this department, given the opportunity, and he'll be able to help regards to the Department of Physical Planning. Otherwise, thank you, Mr. Speaker, I support.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also stand to add my voice to the report of Appointment Committee. Mr. Speaker, let me thanking and congratulating the committee for having done their job so well. Mr. Speaker, having gone through this report, you find that Dr. Konyango meet the requirement. Mr. Speaker, first of all, the nominee by birth. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the academic and professional qualification, Dr. Konyango has all of them. He is overqualified and he meets the threshold of being in this department. Mr. Speaker, going by the employment record, he has all for a person to lead that department. He has served in different capacities. He has served in different portfolios. I think going by the record and experience, he meets the criteria. Mr. Speaker, if you look at chapter 6, Dr. Konyango has met the requirement. He has been cleared by all the institutions that we have in our republic. That means that is Mr. Clean Man and is able to discharge his duties. The last point, Mr. Speaker, is that Dr. Konyango is going to help us meet the 30% quota, which is also a requirement. So, Mr. Speaker, I beg to support this report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also stand to support the recommendations from the Committee of Appointments on the report of the suitability of Dr. Nyango Charles, appointment of the position of the CC member for lands and physical planning. I have looked at the testimonials, Mr. Speaker, and Dr. Onyango suits the qualifications that the advertisement that was put for this particular post was. Yes, he's qualified as the papers. Mr. Speaker, I would want to tell Dr. Nyango that it's not a bed of roses. This is a department that has so many issues of lands that have not yet been registered. So we hope that as soon as he takes the job, he will be able to register the land, actually the lands that are occupied by the hospitals, the sub-county hospitals. Many are lying on the lands that are not yet registered and got papers. And quite a number of cases, last time we were talking about the land committee that the national government did not include the names that were forwarded. So we look forward to Dr. Nyango's coming in to solve some of those pending cases. I stand to support the work of. Thank you.
Honorable Millicent Omuya.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm also rising to put my voice on recommending what the committee did. For sure, we met a very smart man. And I can say that with the vast knowledge and experience that he has, he will be in a position to do exactly what we are seeing in his papers. And he should to prove that he has all that experience that we've read and he talked about. I support.
Olive.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, judging by the mood, I want to call the mover to reply.
Honorable Leader of Majority.
Very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the members that have made their contribution toward this motion. And I want to start by agree with him that Dr. Onyango meets all the qualifications to be the CEC in this department, and to bring to the attention of all the members that Dr. Onyango is the immediate former National Director of Urban Development. So he is not new with issues to do with this department, and he's also the immediate former National Program Coordinator, World Bank, Kenya Urban Support Program, that is doing a lot of activities within this county. So I think this time around, the governor has picked the right person for the right job. In this country, we've had a number of issues to do with land, and we have Dr. Makon's commission, that is in the year 2014 to 2017. So we have no doubt that he'll carry out his work as the CC well. Dr. Komodo, I can also confirm that having gone through the CV of Dr. Makonyango, truly he has a clean history as a career civil servant. So I agree with you, Honorable Speaker Joachim. I know, I have full knowledge that Honorable Joachim Okech was born in this county. So I don't know why he's bringing the issue of minority. But all the same, Honorable Joachim Okech talked about Uganda. So I don't know how beans is related with Dr. Makonyango. Or maybe Honorable Okech likes eating beans. During, I think that was a slip of the tongue. Honorable Emil Ogenga, I agree with you that Dr. Makonyango has all the qualification as is witnessed in his CV. But I don't think that is a matter of people coming from Siaya County. You are a member of this county, and I want you to start thinking about Kisumu as a county and forgetting about Siaya as a county. Or else I will ask all these members that to make sure that Honorable Emilio Ginga does not have a chance to go back to Siaya County. Honorable Speaker, I also want to challenge Honorable Joachim Okech that having a net worth of 19 million does not mean one is not greedy. One can having a net worth of over 1 million. I know Honorable Joachim Okech has a net worth of more than 40 million, but is not greedy. To me, has nothing to do with the qualification of Dr. Makonyango. Otherwise, Honorable Speaker, I don't have much. I do reply. Thank you.
Honorable members, now that the leader of majority moved a motion adoption on the suitability of Dr. Konyango Charles, nominee to the position of CC member for lands, housing, physical planning, and urban development, how to put a question. And I put that as many of the opinion that the motion adoption of the report of appointment committee on the suitability of Dr. Konyango Charles, nominee to the position of CC members, housing, physical planning, and urban development be adopted, say aye. As many of the contrary opinions say nay, the ayes have it. And the motion adoption of the report of the appointment committee on the suitability of Dr. Konyango Charles, nominee to the position of CC member for lands, housing, physical planning, and urban development, have been adopted today, Wednesday, 12th of March 2025 at 10 hours. Means the House has given the governor the nod to appoint Dr. Konyango, and I direct that the House report be prepared, governor, for appointment of Dr. Charles Konyango to the position of CC member for lands, physical planning, and urban development. Next order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and honorable members. There is no any other business to be transacted in the order paper.
Honorable members, we can be upstanding. There being business in the order paper, the House stands adjourned until tomorrow, Thursday, the 13th of March 2025 at 2:30